what's up? It's Steve here. Hope you're doing awesome. This is part 3 of a 3-part series I've got on the Fender Mustang Micro amplifier. Really killer little device for about $100 US, and I'm really impressed. In my first video, I walked through all the amp models. In the second video, I went through all the effects. And in this third one, I'm showing you how I just did a live looping little demo with my looper pedal over here. Even though this is the Boss RC505 and it's got built-in drum machine and all these tracks and all that stuff, I'll explain how it'll work with any looper pedal. It's pretty simple because all you need to do is run the headphone output jack and use some adapters and treat it like an input into any other device. So it's really cool. As you also saw there, I use the last amplifier in the chain here. I've got my little Fender card right here, which is the studio preamp. So it's a real clean preamp, and I use my Taylor GS Mini to lay down an acoustic track. So that shows you what it sounds like with an acoustic. All the effects are coming right out of the micro. There's no effects being applied right here. This is only doing the recording on the Boss looper. So really fun right there, and it shows you that you can not only just use it for practice and playing around or with backing tracks, but you can run it out into a looper pedal or a PA system, whatever you want to, and make some good music. So it's pretty cool. So check out my other videos on this series, and if you're new here to this channel, you'll see I got a ton of Mustang content on the GTX 50 and the GTX 100 amplifiers, a bunch of other Fender stuff and reviews and demos. I'm a Fender fan, but I'm not biasing that towards this. I just think for $100 you get a lot of features in this Mustang Micro, so I highly recommend it. As I pointed out in the other 2 videos, I do think there's some room for improvement, most notably the stereo effects. I wish there were more stereo effects, and that some of the basic ones like hall reverb, which is stereo, I just wish it was bigger and broader. But overall, like almost nitpicking here with this. So in a minute after the break, I'll sort of walk through what I suggest for using a looper pedal with this unit. And I'd love it if you consider subscribing here and liking and sharing, and maybe tell someone you know about C guitar. Here we go. Okay, so normally you run the micro right into your guitar. This is my Fender Telecaster here, and you run the output jack from the headphones straight up to your ears. What I did is I ran it using a little 3.5 millimeter jack, and it went right back into, let me see where it is here. Oh, right here. So there you go. It's just a 3.5 millimeter jack. So headphone output from the micro, and you take this, and if you have a looper pedal that has an auxiliary input, which this one does, I can just plug it straight in and I'm good to go. Captures it in full stereo quality. It's great. If you don't have that kind of looper pedal, so if you have a Ditto looper or the simpler Boss one, or Digitech, really any other looper, if it doesn't have a 3.5 millimeter in, then you'll need to likely do one of 2 things. I haven't tried this, but I suppose you could try to run the USB-C output instead of the headphones and run the USB-C out into your looper if your looper has a USB input. Most of them don't, especially the simple ones. So what I would suggest is, again, running this out of the micro, and then plug it in here again. Run that out of the micro, and then run this into either a 3.5 millimeter female to a 1/4 inch male, which would convert your stereo signal with a little adapter into a mono. Then you could run it in. So you'll lose the stereo effects from the micro, but you'll be able to just really run your straight guitar signal of the Mustang Micro right into your looper pedal as an input. If you have a stereo looper, you could try to step it up even further. Now what I've got here is this little device right here. This is a Y splitter. So I'm able to plug the stereo input into this, and it splits it into left and right. So now I've got left and right, plug those into my stereo looper, and you've got the full stereo experience right in. And then you can run your looper, which is likely got stereo outputs, into 2 different speakers like the ones I've got back here. And now you got a full-on live recording setup into your speakers or PA system, or back into headphones again. So I just showed you right there, you don't need a fancy 5-track looper like this. You just need a stereo looper, or even a mono one, to be able to do it. And the key really is just one of these things and a little adapter. This one is the stereo one. You can probably get a mono one that basically doesn't have half of this right here. Just plug it in there, it's got 1 cord. So that's it, pretty simple and a lot of fun. Hope this was helpful. Let me know if it was, leave a comment, and I'd love it if you hit like and consider subscribing here at Steve Guitar. Check out the other videos in this series, and I'll play out here with a little bit more of this loop. Let me see if I can get it all connected back in again. Put the proof where it is here, so let me run that back in. I'm gonna plug this into, I've got a stereo input, just like a regular other looper pedal. And still got my backing track playing, but let me try this. I think my Mustang Micro might have gone off. There we go, it's back on. Plug it in right there, and still got my loop going right there. So I got a good signal. Let's jam a little bit more.